Hello, everyone, and welcome to Purge of the Serpentholds, Season 1, Episode 7, Whispers on the Wind, Part 4. It's taken a while for this series of episodes, but, you know, we're here, we're ready, and I hope you all have a good time today. I'm Corinne of Roll the Roll. I'm known as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter, and I hope everyone watching has been washing their hands and maintaining social distance if you can. Before we jump into the recap, I have a few announcements to make. Firstly, I'd like to thank Ryan at Simulcray on Twitter, which I will link, for creating that song that you heard while we were on that last screen there. He has open commission slots if you need any songs, and he also has a new computer, so hit him up. He is able to do that for you. Oh, okay. Hold on one second. Bevan's talking to me, and I can't hear him. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Alrighty. Anyway, sorry. It was relevant news, but it was kind of in the middle of something. I'd also like to thank the Onyx Path for inviting us to run this show. If you haven't picked up the Scarred Lands Player's Guide yet, I can't recommend it enough. I'm linking it right now as the PDF and the physical version in the chat, which Bevan has an announcement about that.
So I don't need to be on camera so you can look at Corinne and she can smile, but you guys should be able to hear me. We just wanted to reach out, both me and Travis from the Onyx Path. We are tomorrow on our Scarred Lands game on Roll the Roll, giving away a physical copy of the Scarred Lands Player Guide, which you can normally buy from anypressrevolution.com.
We linked.
Corinne has already linked for you. The only rules is that you have to be a follower of the Roll the Roll
Channel.
Twitch, thank you. Be a member of our Discord. And the physical copy is unfortunately limited to members of, citizens of the United States. However, if someone from outside the U.S. Wins, we will just go ahead and send you a PDF copy. That's all for me. I'm going to go hide in the bedroom so I don't bug you anymore.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Yeah, so there'll be a giveaway for a physical copy of the Scarred Lands Player's Handbook tomorrow on my usual channel, so check it out if you're interested. If you win the physical copy and you're outside of the continental U.S., you could still win. You just don't get the physical book. You just get the PDF instead, just because international shipping charges are very big. All right, and then also, if you're interested and have some free time to kill, you can go to this most recent link to playtest new content for Scarred Lands. New content is released frequently, and your responses matter. So check it out, give it a play, and see if you like it or see if you don't. Finally, if you would like to support this show, please check out our Ko-Fi. As always, that link is in the chat, and everything that goes through there just goes to, the players and production for the show, like getting music and things like that. Without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor to my players. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little about your characters, and then we can get on with the game. So first, I think below me now is Hiromi. You're up.
I'm Hiromi. I am a freelance RPG and fantasy writer, or genre fiction writer. I am one of the Scarred Lands writers, but not for anything that we're doing, at least as far as I know. I play Zasa, the Asaf the wizard, which makes me a lizard wizard, and she has this hat in character.
Except it might not be stuffed. I don't know if we decided if it's like a stuffed animal or if it's like a made of like taxidermy. I don't know if we ever decided.
Oh wow!
Can I vote for a live one? A live little dragon hat?
I mean, I suppose as long as you don't use it in battle, I'm not going to argue. You can't like deploy your hat.
Deploy the hat!
Alrighty, so next up would be Candy.
Hi, I'm Candy. I'm the DM for the Dicey Amazons Twitch channel. I play Kyloic, or Kai, the halfling paladin, aka the itty bitty tin can. Is always small but mighty.
Oh, which we love. Small but mighty. That's all of you. You're all small but mighty. Even Marigold, who's tall. All right, Megan, you're up next.
Hello, I am Megan, general ne'er-do-well and streamer. I'm on a few different channels. On this one, I am playing Caravan. She is a Triton monk with anger issues.
And she's been practicing her meditation. Alrighty, Rune, you're up.
Hey, I'm Rune. I play this apparently imminent disaster bard, not quite happened disaster bard. Marigold, I'm on a bunch of streams. I do the art thing. Hello.
Yay for the art thing. Alrighty, Shawnee, last but not least.
Hi, I'm Shawnee of Showcat Cosplay, and I do a lot of cosplay. I play Shaho, the Manticora box-obsessed kitty cat.
Which is wonderful. Alrighty, so what do we all remember happening the last time? What did we do?
Shopping.
Yes, there was a lot of shopping.
I have a zebra!
Yes. What in particular did you all buy? And or rent?
And I have a mini, like white lizard with like other like color striations, I guess. And so I called her Opal.
Yep. You have your
My
tiny
riding
lizard
Yeah.
that is sized appropriately for you. And what about everyone else? What did you name your rental lizards?
I have a frilled lizard named Fancy, and I don't get along with it very well, but I'm trying my best.
You and Fancy will get there one day. You have some
I
time.
hope so. Or it's gonna run off.
Zasa's writing companion is a very large green and red iguana that happens to match very well with Zasa's decor. So it's a partnership that doesn't need money, but it involves money anyways.
That it does. And then, Shawnee, you weren't with us last week, but you also have a riding lizard. Your riding lizard, if I recall correctly, is kind of like a dusky kind of gray. And it is just it'd be kind of a grayish green looking lizard, maybe something similar in color to a Komodo dragon. It is not a Komodo dragon, though. It does not have poison saliva, to my knowledge, unless you make some very specific rolls, maybe. I guess I'll leave that up to the dice if you want to try.
Well, I think its name is going to be Komodo then.
Okay, it can be Komodo. You know what? I'll let you roll for it. We'll roll to see if it has some poison saliva for you. Roll me a D100. If you get 50 or below, if you get below 50, it does not have poison saliva. If it's 50 or above, it has poison saliva. Which I don't know what you'll do with that, but, you know. Hey, 93!
Oh.
Komodo has poison saliva.
Yes!
Attack, lizard.
You are probably not currently trained to be able to wield it in a battle, but I don't know, you could probably do something with that poison. You have arrows. So, alrighty. That was one of the main things that happened last week, is that you all got your riding animals. For Marigold, that was a zebra. Because I put a zebra there. And he was able to woo it with his voice. So
Marigold also got a suspiciously thick letter.
yes.
Shut up.
We haven't forgotten.
Shut up.
A thick letter that had something in it.
You'll never know.
And then you did continue your journey, and you got into the desert. But when you were traveling, you decided to, spend most of the day resting and travel more towards dusk when it was cooler. While you were doing so, you were happened upon by a party of Ironbred. You assumed correctly that they were Ironbred based on their matching tattoos that they had. The Ironbred that you met were as followed. There was Beryl. She is pretty shy, doesn't seem to speak up to you as the party, but she seems to be the fastest. She was like ahead of the party when they were walking. There is Jet, who is has a glossy black coat. His voice is gruff, and he seems like he's probably the muscle of this group. There was Murado, who's kind of a purplish gray in color. He has a bow on his back, and he often speaks into Jet's ear, just whispering to him instead of, speaking aloud. And then finally there was Cyan, who spoke to you the most. She has a tawny brown coat and a light mane that is short cropped. She is boisterous and cheery, and she was the one who was talking to you the most. You were able to make a deal with her, where her and Jet, where you were able to trade off some of your rations to get to learn how to make harnesses, because you were told that the pass and the mountains are incredibly windy right now. One might say they're windy. So,
Fucking windy.
yeah, it's fucking windy. So, that's basically where we left off last time. So I'm gonna kind of pick up from there. Give me just a moment here. So after you've all been taught how to make the harnesses, Shaho, you specifically were the one, that they pulled aside to teach, because they, seemed to think you had a better grasp of maybe climbing gear than the others. If anyone else wants to help in making the harnesses, you can, make a survival roll to see what your affiliation with climbing gear and harnesses and things would be.
That would not be me.
Zasa wants the information regardless of whether or not she's good at it.
Hey! You did
She's
better.
actually good at it,
Yeah.
so okay.
You're doing a great job, Zasa.
Thank you.
How do those knots work? Oh my god.
All
They're
right.
like a science.
I can see that. I'll leave you to it.
It's the science of knots.
It's a naughty science.
No, boo. Boo.
This one currently isn't naughty science, but it is naughty. It could be naughty later.
But it's all for naught.
So, with Zasa and Shaho working together to help to learn how to make these harnesses from the party of Ironbrits, you are able to get enough harnesses for everybody. And then Cyan steps up, and she's just as boisterous as she was before, but there's a bit of she seems kind of nervous or upset in a way. Mirror Pass has always been dangerous, but now the winds whip through it with just an impossible force. It's honestly like nothing I've ever seen before. I hope you're ready.
I mean, no, but we have to go anyway.
If you have to, I understand. A lot of people have been traveling that way.
Have they?
Yes, I think it's because of the
How
sound.
many?
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot. I don't think they made it, though. We found some corpses, at the bottom. More than usual is all I'm saying.
So when you said that we needed to be... Oh, go ahead, Kai, sorry.
Did any of those people have these harnesses?
No, that's why, I thought of it.
Oh, to keep
yeah.
us on our beasts of burden and our majestic steeds. Pat, pat.
Exactly, yeah. People, they were ready for the pass, for the sound, but they weren't ready for the wind. And, I'm hoping these harnesses will help. I mean, I can't promise anything. They're not exactly tested, but it's better than going there without them.
You lot, this may be insensitive, and I don't mean it this way, but you lot have hooves, yes?
Yes, on our feet.
Right, were they a problem?
The
The
I
sound.
mean, we didn't really go up there, but in the past, they can be the clop,
Right.
We know that in the past we've put some kind of padding on our feet to make sure
Right.
that they don't echo.
Right, Mandalorian, come here. And he's off away talking to his zebra again.
Gotta pad that zebra.
Add that zebra.
And then Cyan continues. I don't know if you can hear it, but listen. And she, cocks her head to the side. I would like all of you to roll a perception check for me.
Time to fail the shit. Do.
Hey!
Oh, or not.
Oh.
Okay,
I'm
so
focused on these harnesses.
Marigold and Caravan. Marigold, you're even standing, you're with your zebra, and you're able to hear it. You heard Cyan say, listen, and you did, just out of habit. And Caravan, what you hear is, it sounds like words. Words that are being carried on the wind. You can't quite make out what they are, but you're getting the distinct sound of as if there's syllables, as if there's consonants. You don't know what it's saying, but it sounds like the wind is speaking instead of just being, the whistling of the wind or the standard gusting.
I don't like that at all. Zasa,
Yes.
did you hear that? Can you tell what it's saying?
Can I mimic it?
You mean when these lovely folks were teaching us how to make the saddles?
No, the wind's going like.
That's a very good approximation of what wind sounds like. Yes, thank you.
But more wordy. I don't know. You know
No.
words.
I can hear it as well, actually.
You know words?
I mean, I know many.
Marigold, you could try and mimic this. I would like a performance check to do so.
My favorite words.
Let's see if you can approximate the sound.
Probably not. Close
A 15?
enough.
Okay, not bad. Give me just a minute here. I need to find what the exact words are so I can... Okay, so you're not able to exactly remember the words because, as you know, it was soft, it was mumbled. You couldn't quite make out what it was on the wind. But you were able to, the way that you replicated it, there were some very specific consonant sounds that you were able to make out. There was a C, there was a couple M's, and there was another C. So it was kind of like a kind of sound. But you're not able to make it out more than that. But that's the specific sound that you heard.
Alright, which languages use those phonetic sounds more frequently than others, Zasa?
Roll just a general, intelligence check for me, Zasa. Okay. So you think that this could be any number of languages, but the way that it was mimicked by Marigold, it sounded like it, could have been, in, Asath, even though there wasn't S's in it, when S's are very common in Asath.
So I actually speak Asath. Would
Okay.
I have recognized it as Asath when I heard it?
Yeah, roll me an intelligence check.
Kryn.
I'm sorry. With an 8, given that you know Asath, it seemed familiar to you. You wouldn't have automatically placed it as Asath because none of the words you heard really had the S sounds that you were used to, or at least it didn't really seem to. There were some S's, but it wasn't as S heavy as you thought it might be. But now that if Zasa's saying that it's Asath, you'd be like, Asath!
Yeah,
So.
sounds kind of like that. Is there another language that's related to it? Like maybe a little older or like a cousin?
I mean,
Like another Asathi romance language?
Elven has Arne.
I feel like if it were Asath, I would have been able to tell what it was.
Now, a reminder, it is just words on the wind, so you might not have understood it even if you understood the language.
Oh,
We can
Caravan would have
try to
understood it. She
get-
is certain.
We can try to get closer and see if it becomes more clear. heading in
Closer to the
this
wind?
Sensible, yes, sensible.
Like we need to go up?
Yeah, we need to go up anyway.
Like
All
flying?
right.
Could you tell which direction it was coming from?
So Science speaks up again. Yeah, it's I think it's coming from the pass, from the mountain, from the peaks.
Oh, wonderful.
So we are gonna head towards it.
Yeah.
So not only is it windy, but it's spooky haunted wind.
Absolutely, my favorite sort.
Great.
So, if it sounds like kind of like a Soth, but not exactly,
Mhm.
might it be Titan speech?
It just might.
Because
don't like
Zasta
it.
speaks that.
Okay, so if you do have Titan speech, you would be able to tell that, yeah, this does probably sound like Titan speech, even if it's very far away from you. And it sounds like it might be alternating between Titan speech and a Soth, as if it wasn't really choosing between one or the other. It's if this were a broadcast, it would be doing it in multiple languages.
Perhaps lips are buried in the past.
Well,
Wonderful. Now, how do we shut it up? Even I know you can't talk all the time.
Well, we did make the ear stuffing and the padding earlier.
That's true.
Wait, is it bad to hear it?
No.
we don't know.
Well-
Probably not. But
I say no. I don't really know. I'm just
I-
making shit
I-
up.
That
don't
sound in
know.
the past is dangerous.
I haven't been there. I mean, we didn't go. You know, we steered clear, but you know, there's lots of dead bodies over by the mountains.
Oh, wonderful. Maybe we can loot them for something useful. Sorry, that was my outside voice.
You know, you might be able to find some cool stuff there, but yeah, we're gonna go. I'm gonna get away from the weird wind
Whispering.
voices.
No,
It's,
absolutely.
yeah, our ears are pretty sensitive, and I don't like it. You know, Murado doesn't like it either. We're gonna, yeah,
Bounce.
we're gonna bounce.
Thank you for the harnesses.
Yes, thank you.
yes, thank you for
Question.
the information.
Yeah.
Before you leave, is there anything that we need to do to prep for the wind other than pulling our hair back?
Yeah, I think in general you just do whatever, you know, you would usually do for the wind. You know, maybe pull your hair back. You know, I keep mine short, so, you know, I didn't really have that problem. But, you know, tie down anything that could blow away. Make sure you don't have loose clothing that can get caught in it. Otherwise, you'll get, like, blown like a kite. And, yeah, you know, make sure you're wearing that harness.
Okay.
This is going to be a
Should
problem.
we strap ourselves together once we get closer as well?
That seems like a recipe for falling off a cliff, but if you think it's safer, I trust your wilderness expertise over my desire to not die.
Shaho, I'd like you to roll me a survival check. Okay, 21. You know that it kind of depends. If one of you loses your footing and you are tied to the rest, then tying yourselves together could save that one person. But if, you know, multiple people lose their footing at the same time, it could result in all of you falling to your deaths. So it really depends on the scenario. You would probably, if you were going to tie yourselves together, you would want to also be
Pair
affixed, affixed to something else, or have a way to, you know, unfortunately cut someone loose. Otherwise, you're risking the entire party if two people fall, for instance. But you can also just try and tie off to things as well. You know, leave some extra slack and make it so you have the room to, you know, tie off to this rock face, tie off to over here, so that even if you all start falling, you're affixed to something on the mountain itself.
We also can use my arrows if we have to.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, and then I have like the pythons or pitons, however you pronounce those, for climbing.
I think
Those
it's,
will come in handy.
Etons.
Pitons.
so the
I call them wall sticks.
You know, darlings, this is a little bit macabre, but when we get to those corpses at the bottom of the mountains, I have a little bit of magic that I might be able to do to see what happened to them, so we don't, you know, perhaps repeat their mistakes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just offering.
I'd like to see that.
Right, let's go find some corpses then. Lovely. Anybody have any gloves?
I think Shaho has some gloves.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if she's sharing
She's
them, though.
also half my size.
And
Oh,
has like
literally.
little claws on the end, so like there's probably little holes in the fingertips.
Exactly.
Shaho, I have a question, and this might be a little insensitive, but it seems like a good time to ask. When you fall, do you always land on your feet?
Not often that I fall, but I'd say 80% of the time I land on my feet.
So
Then I vote you should be at the end of the tie, so if we have to cut you loose, you're okay.
I don't think it... Kevin, I don't think it works like that.
She just said it does 80% of the time.
I think it rather depends on the height you fall from.
I can't
That's
fly.
better odds than I have.
Look, I'm not very strong. For what it's worth, I might be tall, but I can barely lift my own equipment. I'm gonna mosey the group onward. Just gonna like gently start wandering with
The Ironbreds wave goodbye. You know, you hear a couple like yelled like "good luck," and it's actually like Jet wishing you good luck, which you didn't expect. I think he just doesn't want to see more corpses at the bottom of the mountain.
Oh, he's deeply sarcastic.
Yeah, or he's being deeply sarcastic. It could be either one. Yeah, they kind of fade into the distance as you leave. You can... It's not too long before you can actually see the peaks in front of you. They're still a ways off, but it is a flat desert. So you're just, you know, traveling towards a thing you can actively see now. I'd like you all to roll another perception check for me.
Absolutely. I'm paying attention to my absolutely fabulous zebra.
All right, so, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we are missing Kai.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I was like, I think I'm missing one.
There we go.
Okay, cool. So, the 15s and 21s, so Caravan, Zasa, and Shaho. As you get closer, you do hear the words starting to become a little more obvious on the wind. The wind is getting stronger. It's not dangerous yet. It's just, you know, a brisk wind. But it does sound more like somebody's whispering in your ear the closer you get. Shaho, do you speak Asath or Titan speak?
Not at all.
Okay, so to you, it sounds maybe familiar in the sense that you've heard this spoken before, but you don't know what the words are. For Caravan and Zasa, since both of you speak Asath, and since Zasa speaks Titan speech, you are able to recognize that it is alternating between Titan speech and Asath, and the words essentially come out to something similar to "come to me." Come to me, my children. But it's far away at this point, very far away, and it's very much whispered. It's as if the wind is speaking into your ear, asking you to get closer. For the two of you who understood that, I'd like you to do roll will saves for me.
Wisdom?
Wisdom, sorry. Thinking Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Shit.
Zasa!
Great.
Oh.
So, Zasa, for a
no.
moment, you feel yourself walking forward, and you didn't intend to. It's kind of like you're being pulled. You're able to stop yourself. You kind of shake it off after a moment. But you feel that if you were closer, that would be harder to do. Caravan, you don't start walking forward, but you do feel that pull, that urge where your body like wants to go forward, but you don't actually end up doing it.
Zasa?
So, if those earplugs are handy, that would be a really good idea about this time. Also, I have a very plausible hypothesis as to what part of Mormo is up there.
A mouth.
I think her mouth is up there, and she's beckoning everyone who can hear her, which presumably is mostly her children, to go up there. And
She's beckoning very persuasively.
it's not a good thing, and I would really like to avoid that. I still want to go up there and study it, and perhaps take it so that we can get a reward so that I can have more money for research.
I like how straightforward you are.
It just sounds like whispering in my ear. I can't hear it very well.
I don't
But
hear anything.
so maybe you guys should lasso to me, since I can't understand it. So I'm less likely to be bothered.
That seems wise.
Wait,
I was kind of wanting to lasso to Kai.
Little
She seems
one's
sturdier and lower to the ground.
I
that's
would
fair.
also,
say
like-
strength is not my good part. It's the bad
Also,
part.
maybe
of
like
me.
50 pounds with my armor. So, do you really want to do that?
Well, the thing is that Kevin's not very large, and I don't think Zasa is either. And you're
Look,
quite
nobody
strong.
is large compared to you. You're a giant.
How are our mounts affected?
So your mounts seem like they might kind of understand it, a little bit, but they're not drawn to it in any way. They don't seem to have I guess like the intelligence or like the sense of personhood to be able to want to follow something that's asking for them to go towards it beyond somebody like calling them like you would a pet. Yeah, like doing like the pss, 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 pss. Like it's not doing that to them since they don't really understand the words. They don't it's kind of like with Shaho, she doesn't understand the words, so they, even if they kind of understand it, they don't understand the meaning behind it. And
My
they can't.
intelligence is also a 10. So I guess as long as you stick with your mounts, you could be okay.
Will the mounts make it up the pass, though?
They should, yes. The lizards. I don't know about Mel here, but you seem capable, darling, don't you?
Seems
So is
skilled.
it earplug time?
It's earplug time for me.
We
Yeah.
need to. Do you mind if we
Sounds
find the bodies at the bottom of the cliff first?
Oh, yeah.
So
Not only could we do that, I can help with that.
Can you?
Yes. Because dead bodies in a desert are essentially just terrain features that we haven't explored yet, which means that my unseen cartographer can suss them out.
What?
Also, it would help us discover any obvious dangers. So, give me 10 minutes.
I don't know what those words meant, but I feel disturbed.
I understood those words and I still don't know what's happening, so sure.
Basically, I have a magical scout who can make a map for us.
Oh,
The
thank
the
you.
only problem is that the magical scout, if it encounters anyone who can see and is hostile, well, he's going to die horribly.
Is that like an imaginary friend?
Yes.
But one you made.
Yes. An imaginary friend that I can make who lasts an hour
Oh,
and who makes a map.
delightful.
Alright.
So
Yes,
you're gonna
do
get a
that
map
then.
of dead bodies?
The desert around the dead bodies so we can find them more quickly, I think, is the point.
Yes. If they were alive, it wouldn't work because people move.
God, not playing a wizard is so weird. Anyway, okay.
Please, Saza.
Alright, well, that works.
Go for it.
I will be here paying attention to my beautiful horse. I've never met a creature more charming than you.
all right, so Zasa, you are able to use the unseen cartographer. Describe to me exactly what that spell does.
Oh, it has to stay within 30 feet of me.
Oh, okay. So you would have to wait
No,
till you
no.
got a little bit closer. But if you wanted to do it, you still can.
Sure.
Oh, so it's like a magical assistant that maps things for you.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, let me take
I
a
could
look
use
here.
one of those. Ones that does transcription. Do you think you could make a spell like that?
Oh, it doesn't specifically indicate hazards. And it says that it doesn't indicate creatures. I assumed that meant living creatures, but that's a DM call.
Yeah, I would say that it could I'd say that you'd be able to map where dead bodies were and things. I feel like that becomes a feature of the land, like a skeleton. They're just not
Like Everest.
skeletons yet. Yet.
Skeleton popped out.
So yeah, as you get closer, at first it's not really getting anything because it has to be within the 30 feet of you, but you do start getting closer to the base of the Gasgar Peaks, and as you get nearer to there, the map is it like a physical map that's generated to you, or is it something where
It generates a physical map.
the physical map? Okay. So the physical map is generated, and you see, the entrance to the pass. You see the mountains around it, and you do see that there are some not necessarily like clumps of unidentified things, but there are various places on the map where something's drawn that you can't quite tell what it is, and you can assume that these might not be natural features of the land. The closest one is probably on the right, near an outcropping of rocks, and it is probably about, it's within sight, but you're not super close. You would have to get closer to see what it actually was.
I think we need to know what those things are, but we should probably be very careful.
All right.
Well, I want to be safe, so I'm going to cast Pattern of the Oaken Shield from my tattoo.
Okay.
Ooh.
And how long does that last again?
1 hour.
1 hour? Okay. All right. So, you how do you cast it? What does it look like when you cast it?
So you just see Shaho reach up, and it looks like she's just like rubbing out a sore spot on her neck. But as she does it, her fur all over her body like stands up on edge and is just rigid.
Are you all right?
Fortified.
I like lean forward and like poke the fur very gently. Is it like pokey?
Sure, we could go with that. My AC can't be less than 16 now. So it basically is bark skin.
So you're a wood cat now.
I am a stronger cat now.
I like it. It's very words fail me.
Are you stronger or are you tougher?
Aren't tough and strong the same?
Shaho's
Can
very
you
tough.
lift heavier things or can you take punches better?
I can get hit and it hurt less.
I don't want you get any of you getting hit at all. God, adventuring is such a nasty business. Anyway.
You signed up for this because you wanted money.
It's true, I did. That's very true. I signed up for this because I wanted money. You are absolutely right. Money to get out of here. But that's another thing entirely. Let's go find some corpses.
I'd like to
Why is that a song you have?
Let's go find some corpses. It'll be a very good time. I don't know. It's something I'm working on. I don't think it works though.
No, you should workshop it more.
I'm definitely going to workshop that. I don't think crowds are going to be very excited about finding corpses.
I'd like to think as you're singing, "Let's go find some corpses," you are like gesturing up and down like a band leader with the
parasol.
With the parasol, yeah, like marching.
Let's go find some corpses. It'll be a very good time. I don't fucking know. That's all I got.
Is it going to be part of a musical or?
On this screen, we have two Shawnees.
You know, I've
Let me
never
fix
thought
that.
about writing a musical before, but there's a thought.
I think that might be a good way to incorporate some of your weirder pieces.
Let's go find some psychotropic drugs. It'll be a very good time. Is that better? Psychotropic drugs? No? No? None of you?
It doesn't
No?
fit
Right.
the beat as well,
Mm.
but I think it's less offensive.
I think that if you wanted to go with the original version, you should probably play in Holofaust.
Play
It's a city founded by necromancers, so
Oh, you know, I bet they would
Aristocracy.
like that.
aristocracy would probably really like that.
Huh. Let's go find some corpses. It'll be a very good time.
Is he taking notes on this?
He is, actually.
Yes.
He flips out a little tiny, beautifully, like, just this gorgeous little leather book and is just jotting notes in it with a very interesting looking pen. It looks like this.
All right. So as you are, as Marigold is doing that, you are able to find that the piles, that first pile or weird thing that you were seeing was in fact some corpses that were near the base of the mountain by an outcropping of rock. You're not close enough to really tell much else, but they definitely look like their bodies. It's just, you don't know necessarily, who they are or what they are. They just look like some slumped over and basically some shapes that look like they fell a really, really far distance.
I'm good. Let's go find some corpses. It'll be
But
a very
they're
good time.
in a pile as opposed to scattered.
Let's go find the bodies.
Some of them are
At
piled.
least enough clothes on
You
mine.
do see that there is a couple together, as if they fell around the same time, in the same place. But then you do see out some other ones that are just scattered in the distance, not together in clumps. So it looks like your cartographer only really got the ones that were in in larger groups. It didn't give you a list of all of them, just the ones that were more of features on the land, instead of, just one body isn't really a feature, whereas...
Corpse hills,
Yeah.
not just a random corpse.
Exactly, yeah, it makes a difference. There we go. Fix that. So yeah, you do see that there's a couple bodies, like I'd say maybe like 3, 4, a good handful, that are over, by that outcropping of rocks. You see, some scattered ones in the distance, and then you see that there's another outcropping that was also shown on your little map, that has a couple more bodies by it as well. Anybody who sees these bodies, roll a survival check for me.
I don't feel like Caravan's trying to look at these bodies.
Okay, so you don't roll it then. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like Shaho and Zasa, you are both able to deduce that you think the reason why these bodies are in specific kind of like piles, it's not that they were piled up by somebody, it's that they probably fell from the same place. So they fell from the same place or for the same reason, in different areas, and that's why they've kind of ended up in the same place. Due to the way the wind's blowing, due to the way the landscape is, it caused, some pile-ups to occur.
Are they possibly tied together, like what we were talking about earlier, where one person fell and everybody went?
Not all of them, but there are some. You do see that, you're able to see other outcropping of, little bodies in the distance, and you can tell that there are some that have rope by them, so it looks like they may have been tied together. Other ones just seem like they were just, they could have happened days apart, weeks apart, you don't necessarily know, but they don't look like they were at exactly the same time. There's nothing to indicate that.
I'm gonna go investigate some bodies close up.
All right.
I will follow Shaho.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna follow just to watch.
They're flattened here like pancakes. They fell a very long way. Marigold's just singing quietly to himself.
And so, from the first group of bodies, and looking up, do I see like an overhang or anything?
Roll investigation for me.
So let's all watch
Nice.
our footsteps.
Yeah.
I'd rather not die today.
So what you see is that there is a kind of it looks like someone was trying to was probably in the pass, and then there's kind of like an outcropping or like a cliff area that leads out of the mountain. So it looks like there might have been a kind of like a wind tunnel of some sort that happened that blew them straight off the pass and through that specific hole, or not necessarily hole, crevice. And when you look over, where the other one of the other outcroppings of bodies are, you see that there seems to be another one. So it looks like the reason why these people fell was because they had there was kind of a wind tunnel situation, or something pushed them out of what would have just been a normal crevice.
Well, instead of speculation, I can just look.
Yes, you can. Cast that spell.
Who's got the treasure right now? Who's carrying that around? I know we found some gems earlier. Hiromi, is that you?
Sure. Probably.
I know I just need 2 gems, not expensive ones, just, let me find.
Sapphires, rubies.
Perfect, sapphires. I'll take both of them. Wink. And I will wander over to what is the most intact looking body?
Okay, so the most intact looking body, it is one of the ones from, in one of the outcropping areas, where there's a lot. You do see that one kind of landed nicely on top of a pile.
Oh, God.
It's not, smashed to smithereens. It just looks like it died from a blunt force trauma, but not as much as any of these other corpses.
Is it desiccated at this point, or how old are these bodies?
They look to be, they all vary. This one is, one of the fresher ones.
I bet this smells, I'm just spritzing lavender cologne all around me. Oh, God, okay. Well, this is terrible. I mean, I've buried people before, but not like this. Ugh. Marigold will, kind of very gently sort of pull the body off of the pile, get about halfway when he realizes his strength is 8, and look towards Kai. Sorry to ask, can I get some help with this? He's quite heavy.
Sure.
Drag. Oh, I'm sorry you met such a terrible friend, but I need to have use of your side. There's a demeanor shift in Marigold as he kneels down next to this corpse. Normally he's just flamboyant and ridiculous, but as he's like helping Kai pull the body from the pile, he's treating it almost reverentially, which is probably not the word I wanted, but and he sort of gently arranges the corpse on the sands, kneels down next to it, gently places the sapphires on its eyes. There is like a whole grace to Marigold that is not performative, but rather respectful as he goes and starts working on this spell. And I don't know how magic works in Scarred Lands, but I'm going to make it up.
Go for
it. There's kind of a light around him as a circle of divination runes sort of slowly rotate, and they're, of course, violently pink. Because what else color would they be? But they shift down into kind of a, like, almost like watching a sunset. Goes from pink down into blue, down into black, and then they fade as he lays his hands on the corpse's face and casts Dead Man's Eyes.
All right, let me take a look at this.
I think that was in the new stuff you guys sent us, which I thought was a very, very cool spell. It's kind of like Speak with Dead without questions.
All right. So
this is gonna hurt.
It is gonna hurt. But not yet. It will take a minute. So what happens is you're suddenly seeing through this man's eyes, and you, in a brief moment of realizing that, you kind of look down at yourself, and you see that you're wearing robes that have an insignia on them. It looks similar to the insignia that the Asath that you fought earlier had, but it does look a little bit different. And those robes we would have seen on the corpse as well, but they were pretty tattered. They were hard to make out. And what you see is that this man is struggling up the mountain. He was in the pass. The ground below him seems safe, but the wind is incredibly strong. He is being pulled forward, as if as if there was like a string attached to him pulling him forward. But he's just walking and trying to go against this wind. In your ear, if you can hear, you can see 1 minute. Do you get any sound?
It says you may view up to 1 minute of the events immediately preceding the corpse's death.
I feel like viewing it, you would still get sound, I think.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll say it. It doesn't say you don't. So you do hear the whispering of the wind, but now it's almost cacophonious. It's so loud in your ear. And although you don't think you would usually be able to understand it, you can at this moment, and you hear, "Come to me, my children, come to me. Find me in the pass." And this individual keeps walking forward, seemingly trying to heed the direction. And it's going okay at first, as okay as it can go, but he doesn't really seem prepared for this journey. His hood is whipped back, his cloak is billowing behind him, and you see that his head is completely shaved. He's very pale, but he doesn't look like he's in a soth. He doesn't look, he doesn't have scales or anything. And you would see that on your own skin, that it was, just pale. And suddenly there's a massive gust of wind, and his entire body just flies backwards. You feel yourself being pushed, and you see the rock like whipping past you as you're like flung through a crevice. It catches at his skin, and then out into the open air, and he falls and falls and falls, and then impact,
And then nothing.
and nothing, and then you take the 1d6 points of psychic damage.
Ow.
Oh.
Marigold, like, he's sitting there staring, his eyes have glazed over white, and at one point, after about a minute, he immediately recoils and, like, spits a little bit of blood out onto the sand and shakes his head a little. That was horrible. Okay. Oh,
Interesting.
God.
Are you okay, Marigold?
No, just give me a moment.
I'll bring over a water skin and hand it to you.
Ow. Oh man, that guy
Oh,
went
got fine.
badly. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, so he's got like blood down his nose and a little bit out of his mouth, and he's just kind of like reeling. Oh, okay. I forgot to read the fine. Oh god, I've got a headache. Right. So the wind up there is absolutely horrible. By the way, that spell lets you understand what the person understood before dying. And I explain the situation to the party as I'm taking the water skin from whoever offered it to me. So we're going to need to be tied down to our mounts. We're going to need to be very careful. And Shaho, your instinct of plugging our ears was absolutely correct. That voice up there is very much calling out to whoever can understand it. And I'm not sure if it works on people who can't understand it, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So the wind is absolutely ferocious. It just threw him off the cliff. Granted, he wasn't prepared. He was just walking up the cliff for no reason. I think he got... Oh, okay. No, that was awful. I don't know that I want to do that again.
And we'll need to try to proceed very close to the ground.
Yes. Yes, we are.
So one
Yeah,
thing
but-
you do see, Marigold, as you were, spitting out that blood and, drinking from the water skin, you do see a glint of something shiny in the on the corpse's person, kind of tucked into a belt or like a rope that had been tied around his waist. Do you grab it?
I will call Zossa over, because magical artifacts or shiny things on corpses are not to be touched heedlessly, even though I am a bard and quite an idiot. I know better than that. Zossa!
Yes?
Can you come look at this, please? I feel really... How many corpses are down here, DM?
With this specific body, there is about 3 others of varying age. None of them are incredibly old, but some, have probably been here for a week or two. In the desert heat, so they're pretty desiccated. It probably smells pretty awful. Actually, I would like you all to roll a con save for me, just to see how you're dealing with the lovely
Thanks.
aroma de desert.
I don't feel right leaving them all here.
Okay. And then I think we just need
Yeah.
Caravan?
Can't roll anything.
Megan's like,
There we
nah, I don't want to.
How about you just would pretend it wasn't. It's fine.
So you're all everyone except for Marigold and Shaho, you're feeling pretty queasy. But Marigold and Shaho, you are, you're used to, Marigold in this case maybe is used to death, dying, things like that. Or just has a strong constitution. And Shaho, you've been out in the wild, you've been out in the woods. Death is a standard thing that just, it happens. But for the others, for Zasa, Kai, and Caravan, you don't get sick, but you're feeling kind of woozy. You're not really taking to this very well. You might be averting your eyes. You might be, looking a little bit pale. It's a little much for you.
Yeah, Caravan was staying back this whole time. She deliberately was not going near the corpses.
Okay, so you're pale and in the back. But Zasa, since you are being called closer, please make another save for me. 14. Okay, so yeah, you're still feeling kind of green around the gills. You don't have gills, but that would be Caravan. But you're able to come forward, and you do see what Marigold is pointing out, which is the something shiny that's in the belt of the newest corpse. It looks like it may have a symbol on it. It looks like it could be a pendant of some sort. But you can't really quite make it out without getting it out of the waist area where it's being held in place.
Do I think doing that is dangerous?
You think it may be dangerous, but you're not getting any strong magical vibes off it. It does seem to be just a pendant, but you do know that, anytime you're touching any sort of arcane-looking item on a corpse, it could be dangerous.
Well.
Would you like me to grab it for you?
Zasa probably actually can't hear that, so she picks it up anyways.
No, I didn't want you to touch it. Oh god.
So Zasa, when you pick it up, you see that it does have a symbol of Mormo on it. It's a medallion that has that symbol. And as you're holding it, you get this brief feeling that washes over you. You feel like you can. The wind that you couldn't hear before, you feel as if you can hear the words in your bones, as if it's, like, resonating within you. I'd like you to roll another wisdom for me. 14, okay. So you start to walk forward again. Okay, so you start to roll forward, you walk forward, and then you stop. You got a little bit away from the party as you did it, but as the longer you hold this, suddenly you let go. You know that this is influencing you in some way, and you drop it. The medallion falls to the ground, kind of sinks into the sand a little bit, and you have the feeling that maybe whatever this medallion is, it's making Mormo's pull stronger. It seems like it might be some sort of dedication to her, or, something carried by her followers, and having it on your person would make you more, it's making the effect stronger upon you.
In general, would that be useful for finding other pieces of her? Does it just...
It might.
I have an experiment to perform. If I start to wander off, please stop me.
Okay.
Why don't we just tie a rope around you?
Do that?
That could work. It should be a short experiment, though.
Alright, I go tie a rope around Zasa real quick. And hold on.
Bag of holding. Shoop.
So, as soon as you're no longer touching it, you don't feel the effect on you. You feel that feeling within your bones kind of dissipate again. The bag of holding seems to be containing the object. Roll me an Arcana check. You don't know whether this could pull you towards pieces of Mormo, or if this effect is only happening because of the sound of the wind. You don't know if it's this specific event or if it is if it would relate to everything. You can always research it more later to see what it does.
We have to do more experiments.
You,
But
all right, you look like you saw
I'm
space
okay.
out there for a moment.
You don't seem to be wandering off.
it's true. So, the bag of holding is a good place for it to reside in.
Right.
We don't have further information, and in order to do the rest of the research, I would like for that mouth to be shut up. So, I really want to do the research, though.
Well,
But I shouldn't do it right now. Yeah. Let's do research later.
research
We'll just
later.
leave
Yes.
that. We'll just leave that in the bag for now.
All right.
Okay.
Is everybody going to search the other corpses to see if there's any items on them?
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure.
Anyone who's going to do it, just roll an investigation for me.
I can't roll anything today.
With the investigation. Oh no.
Oh. Marigold, you're still reeling.
Yeah, no, my head hurts.
All right, so Zasa and Shaho. Zasa, you don't find any more of these pendants, but you do find that among the corpses there is, various items. It doesn't look like any of them were necessarily prepared for a journey. It looks like there's some, but on the whole, none of them really. It seems like they were probably called here without a lot of planning. They haven't planned like you have, which means maybe you'll be okay. But what you are able to find is. You find among the numerous corpses a couple of pouches of gold. Comes out to about 20 gold altogether in the pouches. It looks like they didn't have much. You find some more serpent steel blades. You find 2 serpent steel daggers. A serpent steel... what's the word I'm looking for? Can't think of that item. Sword that I've given you before. I can't remember.
Falchion? Falchions are a traditional Asatha weapon.
Then yes, the falchion. So yeah, you do find a couple serpent steel falchions. So 2 daggers, 2 falchions, and then
The scimitars.
and scimitars. You find 1 scimitar. And then, so it seems like some of them had weapons, some of them didn't. It's not nearly enough weapons for all of the corpses that are here. But that's what you find. All of them are serpent steel, which, seems to be common among the followers of Mormo. It looks like maybe they were gearing up for this, even if they weren't ready for this particular journey. And then you find 2 vials of an unidentified poison.
Cool, I guess.
And then, Shaho, you also find a handful of gold among all the corpses. You find that there is about 25 gold altogether from what you're able to gather. You don't find nearly as many weapons. Looks like the ones that you happened to search weren't the ones that were prepared for any sort of fight. But you do find that there is a kind of fancy water skin. That looks like it, holds a bit more water than the standard water skin. And you also find some more rope. So whoever you were searching was more prepared for this specific journey than just fighting in general. They all do seem to be followers of Mormo. You also find that there are just some Titan folk. They don't tend to have much on them. But there are some in the corpses as well. For Kai, you find a nice gold chain necklace that is on one of the corpses. It doesn't have any insignia on it, but it just looks like somebody had a nice necklace. You also find about 10 gold. And Marigold, you are very distracted, but you do find on the one corpse that was right next to you a pouch containing about like 7 gold.
Neat.
And then Caravan, because you're staying far away, you find that you don't feel like you're gonna puke. Oh, and Shaho, you probably have another like an extra like 60 feet of rope now.
Nice.
Oh, and you also found some more pythons, and things like that. A little bit more climbing gear as well was with the corpses you were searching.
Right.
Zasa, are you going to are you just going to put all of the this various serpent steel weapons in the bag of holding, or are you going to do something different with them?
She's actually going to take one of the falchions, because she's actually trained in using it.
Nice.
She should not, but
she knows how, kind of.
yeah. And then, if anyone else needs a poisoned weapon, then, if not, yeah, into the bag.
So if anybody wants the serpent steel weapons, I think I gave the stats for those before. They do offer poison damage along with the standard damage, but most of the things that you found that you fight in general do have poison resistance. Like Zasa does. So it's always worth it for a shot, but you know that poison isn't really the best way to fight things that fight with poison.
Mm.
Fighting poison with poison doesn't work that well.
Shall we grab Caravan and proceed to the pass?
I think you're right. I just
So,
genuinely don't feel right just leaving these people here to the open air, to the various burials of families, but we don't have time. I know. It's stupid, I suppose. We're adventurous. Who cares if people die, right? We're all tough and hardened.
no. Maybe if we get back down at a decent time, we can do that.
Yeah, alright. Fine. That'll do.
We can request it of our elf friend who sent us here, that as a condition, she must take care of those who passed here.
Not a bad idea.
Yes.
I like it. I just it doesn't matter. Let's get going. We should plug our ears on the way up. I do think that Zasa and Kevin should be tied to Kai because she's the strongest of us. I will tie myself to her.
I have an idea.
Oh?
We do have a grappling hook.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to suggest maybe Kai throws the grappling hook ahead of us attached to a rope, and we hold that rope and stick low to the ground following it until we get to the grappling hook, and Kai can keep throwing it forward.
That was
That way
actually
we're
a
not
smart
attached
idea.
to each other.
No, that's actually a really
Yeah.
fantastic idea, but I'm not terribly strong, so... Yeah, sure. Let's do that then.
It's pretty similar to the idea I had to use the pythons, like me going ahead first and staying low on my lizard and then popping those into the side of the wall.
You can
Attach
run
the
the
rope
rope
to it.
through them too.
Yeah,
Yes,
run the
for
rope through them.
extra stability.
hmm And then the person at the very end needs to detach them so that because we'll probably need more than we have. And
Right.
then we'll kind of gather up at a good point, give them back to me, and then keep going.
It's going to be
Yeah.
very slow going then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
Alright, well,
but
that's
it's
better slow than dead.
safe. Right.
Alrighty.
Out of curiosity, who among us has a strength above 10? The wizard?
Nice.
What? All right. Yeah, mine's 8, y'all, so this is gonna be hilarious.
Charisma and Constitution were Zos's dump stats.
My strength is 8. I'm very dexterous.
This is a lot of weedy and fast characters in here. Anyway, I guess we go up. Oh god.
All right. So now that you are very much at the base of this pass and getting ready to go up, the wind is starting to get louder and louder. You feel that it's even if you don't understand the words, you feel as if the words are in your head. You don't know what they mean. You can't do anything with them. It's not a call to action, but the sound is so loud that you can't help but like repeat the sound in your head. It's loud. It's so loud. And let me actually, yeah. If you haven't stuffed your ears, do so.
I'm going to put my parasol away, much to the chagrin of my beautiful skin, because that seems like a sail.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna take my cloak off and put it in my pack.
Marigold's like pulling off his scarves and like looks down at his very long hair. Oh boy, I don't know what to do with any of this. All right, well,
Would you like one of my ponytail holders? We could braid it.
you know that would be exceptional. Except I have so much of this damn hair.
Well, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not trying to impress any of us, are you?
Do you know who you're talking to?
You know you don't know me that well, darling, so I won't take too much offense.
Okay. It's gonna get really tangled.
It is. It's fine. Just help. All right. I have a confession before we go up into the mountains. I actually can't braid. Janra used to do my hair, but he's not here. So I've just left it down because it's easier.
Do you want me to do it? Like, it's not hard.
Would you? You don't
Yeah.
mind. Thank you. I know.
And she will,
There's
braid Marigold's hair.
a lot of it. It's like halfway, like down to his ass. He's and there's so much of it. It's the worst.
It's not gonna be the prettiest, tightest, most beautiful braid. It's gonna be a loose thing that'll keep it from getting tangled.
I would like Caravan to roll a dexterity check to see how good this braid is in the wind with Marigold's massive amount of hair. All right. Okay,
I happen
15.
to be very dexterous.
It's tight enough that it's gonna stay back. It doesn't look the best, but it looks pretty darn good considering the situation. And Marigold, you now have a thick plate going down the back of your head. Do you, Carolyn, do you pin it up in any way or do anything after you've had it in the braid, or just leave it in the braid down?
Well, I just have the braid on for now, with like a little ponytail holder. That is up to Marigold if he would like it pinned even further. I don't know how well that would hold in the breeze.
Well, whatever you can do it to keep. I've had the feeling that it's just going to go. He takes the flower out of his hair, kind of sadly, like this isn't going to stay either. Is
Do you want it to be like a bun?
That would be
Pins?
preferable. Yes.
Okay. She'll twist it up and
Thank you.
some hair sticks in there.
Get this flower out of here.
All right, so you're able to get Marigold's hair into a thick, good braid, and then kind of wheel that around into a bun, so that his hair is flush against his skull, not really providing anything that's going to whip it backwards. Does anybody?
How many?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, how many experience points do I get for defeating the Marigold hair
Marigold
encounter?
flute.
But
You get 100 experience points for defeating Marigold's hair.
Is a ferocious foe. CR 1/2 at least.
Does anyone else have any hair or anything like that, or clothes that they want to tie down or get rid of that they haven't already mentioned?
I will. I will take fabric and strap it over my quiver to cover the top where the arrows are, and strap that down.
Okay.
And in fact, I'll put it on the back of my lizard, and then I'll lay over my lizard and my quiver, because my arrows are important to me.
Okay. So basically, you've all gotten ready. You've all strapped down the things that are important to you, gotten your hair pulled back, gotten rid of loose clothing, done basically all the things that you were advised to do to make sure that, you know, you're not going to get snagged on stuff, you're not going to get caught, you're not going to get pulled and buffeted by the wind as much. You made yourselves as aerodynamic as possible. And as you start going up the pass, you can no longer necessarily hear the words. You just feel the wind against your face now that your ears are plugged, and it almost hurts. It's so strong. Even just starting up the pass, it's not pushing you away, but it is strong enough that it's almost painful. And as you start going, are you doing the pittons in the wall, Kai going up first method with the throwing the hook forward?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're doing that, you do find that the rock is pretty susceptible to taking the pittons. But I would like you to roll a strength check for me.
Okay.
Okay, 12. Yeah. So you are able to get them in. You have to be careful, though, because you want to make sure that you're not banging on the rock with the hammer, and you're only hitting the piton, because you have to worry about sound as well. So roll me a dexterity check.
We put a scarf in between, couldn't we? Oh, boy.
Oh, that's my armor. Oh, jeez.
Okay. So, you're working on you're trying to be careful, but your armor is impeding you a bit. It's already been padded, and you know it's kind of decreasing your movement. You're a little bit clumsier than you would have liked with that piton, and you hit the rock face, and you're still pretty low to the ground, but you feel the rock kind of quiver a little bit, and you hear this rumbling from above, and it rumbles. And it rumbles, and nothing. The next piton you hit, roll that dexterity check for me again. Are you going to do anything to help with that? I heard somebody mention putting a scarf there, or...
Marigold actually passes up one of his rattier scarves.
Okay. Yeah, and I've sort of wrapped that around where I would possibly hit if I missed the...
Okay, so roll that dexterity check again.
Alright.
And this time do it with advantage because you have that scarf in the way.
Okay.
Oh, you did it. Okay.
Man!
So you are able to get this one in without hitting the rock face. There was a close call where you almost hit it, but the scarf stopped you, and you go back in for another swing, and you hit it. You get it in. You're able to repeat this process, enough times that you're able to start making a path upward. I would like everybody to roll a dexterity check for me to see how well you are following along with your animals.
You said check or save?
Save if you are trained in it. It doesn't necessarily matter. Then yeah, you can do a save.
So that'll be a 15 for me, I believe.
15? Okay, so...
I have +5, and I rolled... What did I roll?
I am trained in the save, so if you want to take that first one, you can.
Okay, so the 14, the 10,
9
Nine.
plus
Oh, shit.
5. Okay, so it's okay.
Curse my clicking.
So let me see here. So Zasa, Shaho. Yes. Okay. So Zasa and Shaho, you're struggling a little bit. You're fumbling a bit with the rope. You're able to hold on. You don't lose it, but your lizards beneath you can tell that you're stressed out. Roll me an animal handling, please. Okay. Okay. So you both are able to calm down your lizards. What do you say to calm them down? Or what do you do if you don't necessarily want to make sound?
I just hug tighter to Komodo, and I do the side cheeks of his face and just pet him a little.
Okay. And Sasa, you're doing the Okay. So you are able to calm the lizards down. They know you're stressed out, but they seem to think that you're okay. And they're able to keep moving. All right. So as you're going, the wind is getting stronger and stronger. You can almost like feel the wind inside of you. Like it feels like it's whipping through you. If you had loose clothing at this point, it would be getting ripped back off of you. Just getting caught in that wind. But since you tied everything down, you are doing okay there. But I would like everybody to roll just a straight D20 for me.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh,
Guys,
Oh,
I think
okay.
we're cursed tonight.
for real.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have everybody.
Oh,
Okay, so Shaho and Zasa, you're okay. You were talking with your animals. You were staying really close. You were doing that. But as that's happening, a particularly strong gust of wind comes, and it kind of tries to tear away at some of the items that you're holding. Each of you, what's one small item that you have on your person that you think could get blown away by this wind?
These options are good. A holographic business card for Madame Jean Louise.
Madame Jean-Louise.
Fuck that lady anyway, she was expensive.
She was. Okay, so the business card goes flying. You see it, like, reflecting in the sun as it whips backwards, never to be seen again.
Lost in the wind, good riddance.
I don't really have any. So, Karen doesn't have a lot of things anyway. So, unless it would actually be her whole entire backpack, which would really suck.
No, that would be unlikely.
I think the other thing that's loose would be that shitty, ugly ring of protection I got.
Okay. So the ring of protection, which had you been wearing it, was it on your finger or was it just like in your bag?
I assume she just had it in a pocket or something because she wouldn't want to activate it and put it on.
Okay, so it was in your pocket and like the wind pushes you backwards a little bit and your hand like kind of hits your pocket and just wiggles the ring out. It goes flying backwards. You see it, leaving you and you're like, oh man, good thing that ring sucked.
Good thing that was ugly.
Yeah, good thing it was really ugly. Because it is gone. You don't even like see it because it's not shiny or anything. It just kind of poof. It's somewhere. All right, Kai, what do you think you lost? Anything small?
I lose that very new gold chain necklace that I just got.
Aww. So the gold chain necklace, which you had like tucked into your bag, you hadn't put it on or anything like that. It catches the breeze and you see it pull out of the bag. You watch it in slow motion as it just goes backwards, hits the side of the rock, and keeps going. It sparkles in the sunlight, and you're like, oh man, that was
Can I try
pretty.
to catch it?
You can try. Give me a dex save.
20.
So how do you want to catch it, Marigold?
Marigold's just sitting there very, gently speaking to the zebra in Sylvan, and something glints in the corner of his eye, and he just reaches out and snags it. Yoink!
So you bring it back, you manage to grab it. You can still feel the wind pulling at it, but you hold it close. And Kai, you were looking back, you saw this happen, you know that you may have lost it, but it's not gone forever. Marigold was able to save it for you.
I'm gonna shove it, into one of the many pockets of my outer coat. And
All
button
right.
the pocket.
All right, so you keep traveling, and the wind's getting stronger, but you have a system down now. I would like everybody to roll a stealth check for me. Nice. Okay. So, everyone's being pretty quiet during all of this. But Shaho, you're pretty tense. You're a little bit nervous here, And Marigold, you are definitely maybe it's that gold, maybe it's the gold necklace in your pocket, but something's kind of jingling on you.
I'm
And
afraid of heights.
oh, are you shivering a little? So Marigold is trembling, and the gold necklace is jingling, and it's creating this like kind of tinny sound. And Shaho, you even though you're laying on your quiver, the sound of the quiver knocking against your newly hardened fur is making a bit of a bang sound, like a that's happening. So we get a jingle, 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 and the mountain shakes again. You hear the rumble, 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 rumble.
God.
Rumble, rumble, rumble. You see a couple of rocks fall down the pass. They're not particularly big, but they are coming down towards you. I'd like everybody to roll a dexterity check for me to see if you're able to avoid these, like medium-sized rocks that are coming down the pass.
Once again,
Check or save?
Yeah, that.
Save if you're trained. So anytime is a dexterity check. If it's a save if you're trained. If you're not trained, then
Okay.
it's just a check. Okay, so we have 9, 17, 10, 14, 7. Okay, so
I like that as a house rule.
yeah, I feel like it makes the most sense. Okay, so for Zasa, you are still, you're struggling with your lizard a little bit. The lizard was, you were able to calm it down, but you were distracted. And when the shaking happened and those rocks fell, you weren't looking up. You didn't see that the rock was coming towards you. A medium-sized rock, probably about yay big. It's not super big, but it's about the size of your head. Comes tumbling down, hits a rock and hits your armor. You take about 1 point of damage. It isn't very strong, but you did get just hit by just like a rock. So it just hits your shoulder, I'd say. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, for everybody, you keep going forward. Is there anything that you would like to try and look out for while you're doing this, or are you just very focused on the task at hand?
That crevice the other fellow died in.
Okay, so you do see that crevice is coming up. It is on the left-hand side, and you can kind of see that it probably was a wind tunnel, like you saw, like the wind whipped through. There is an outcropping of rocks that funnels the wind a little bit stronger and pushes you out instead of going straight down the pass. It is about 10 meters ahead of you, and it's to avoid it, since, let's see, I'd like all of you to roll investigation for me to see, or investigation or perception, whichever one you're better with, to see if you notice this. Okay, everybody notices. So, you all see, Zasa, Zasa, I think even you can notice it because you already knew it was there. You all see that this is coming up. It is up there. And you have to find a way to make sure that you don't get whipped by that wind tunnel as well. What do you want to do? All of you can weigh in, since you just have to be incredibly quiet about it.
We go around it somehow.
Would that require climbing sheer rock?
You don't think the
Try and dampen it.
See, what all do we have?
Mm-mm. You don't think the current thing that we're doing with putting the stuff in the side will work
It might.
for the section?
I have a stupid question.
Okay.
You know how there's been this like constant whispering and
Mhm.
whatever, like kind of a sonic effect at all times?
Yeah.
Is there a way that I could use bardic magic to counteract it. And would that have anything to do with the wind? And I'm just talking about using Marigold's voice since he is a bard and has the whole throat affinity, which sounds wrong.
I think that it's something you might be able to try once you're closer. But
Okay.
if you were to try now, you might just, set off a rock slide or something.
That's fine.
Because you'd have to be so loud that it would.
Yeah, it would have to be louder than the wind.
Exactly, and it's not, the source isn't near you yet. I think it's
Okay.
definitely something that you could do once you were closer to the source, which
Sure.
each time you get closer, it is getting louder, so you feel you're going in the right direction.
So
idea how to do that.
prestidigitation can create gusts of wind.
Mhm.
Can I use them to kind of push the stream a little bit off of the path?
I think that's a great idea.
So I'll cast it 3 times and have all 3 effects doing that because, yeah.
It's a strong win. I just roll me a d20 with advantage.
I don't know how to make d20 do that, so I'm just gonna.
Oh yeah, just roll it twice.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So you cast prestidigitation, and you are able to redirect that super strong gust with the 3 pushes. But in doing so, it seems some nearby rocks have jostled loose a little bit, and some more debris kind of come tumbling down towards the party. Everybody can roll athletics or acrobatics or just a dex save, whatever you're all better in.
You about to get clobbered by some rocks, friend.
Damn, Kai, you like do a backflip out of the way, or you just take it because it's athletics. You're just like, hit me.
Clank.
So basically everybody's able to dodge except for Marigold and Zasa. It's the pieces that hit you aren't particularly large, but you do each take 1 damage from the bits of rock that hit you as they're tumbling down.
Ow.
But with that slight caveat, you are able to make it past that crevice that was a death trap. The prestidigitation definitely worked and saved you all from plummeting to your doom. You keep going forward, and the sound is getting louder now, but there is a bit of a fork in the path. How would you like to pick which fork you go down?
Maybe.
Let's split the party and go down separate paths.
There's a song about that.
Is there any way we can kind of see which path may be safer or...
Naza, can you do that thing?
With your friend, yes, your imaginary friend.
Is it safe enough here for us to wait 10 minutes, or do I need to actually spend a spell slot?
I think it depends. If you wanted to basically tie yourselves down, like tie yourselves to various things, like take the extra time, I think you could wait there 10 minutes, find a kind of blocked area, get yourselves tied down and wait. But if you didn't want to waste the rope to do that, and waste the time, then you would have to use a spell slot.
We just got an extra 60 feet of rope.
Seems like a good use of it.
Okay.
Yes, but also isn't it calling to people? Aren't more people coming?
Maybe, maybe not. I know we're going to be in for a fight when we get there. It just seems like the natural order of things.
Yeah, which is
A
why I
rest
don't...
might be good.
Okay. Well, then, we'll do that.
All right, so you all managed to find a slightly sheltered area. It's still windy. You still, have that oppressive quiet that you have to keep. But it's you don't feel like you're in risk of being blown down the mountain where you're currently staying after you've tied everything up, tied yourselves to various pieces of rock. But what you do find is it's a little bit strange. The reason this area is sheltered is that there is a building that is built into the rock, kind of a ways up, that's blocking a lot of that wind. As it's blocking that, would anyone like to roll a perception or investigation on that building?
Oh, well.
Shit.
Zos is concentrating on the spell.
Yes, she's busy.
Change dice colors also.
Okay, so, Caravan and Marigold, as you're all, kind of bunking down, trying to stay safe while Zasa does the spell, you notice that building up there, it looks old. It looks incredibly old. It looks like it may have been built, definitely before all this happened, and who honestly knows when it could have been built. If you'd like, you can roll a knowledge check to get kind of a better idea. But basically what you're gathering is it is old.
Songs about this area.
Yeah, Marigold, with your 23, I think you probably have heard a song about this before. You know that in this song, they spoke of the people of the past. At one point, there were some people who were trying to live in this area. They tried to, conquer the Murmur Pass and kind of reclaim it. Even though, with that oppressive sound, they couldn't make sound. And so you think maybe they might have, the songs say that there was maybe they found a way to make sound here. Maybe it was a spell, maybe it was some way to cancel out just how quiet they had to be. But there was people who lived here once. But it was a very long time ago, and there doesn't seem to be any clear way to get up to these houses. But you do know that at any moment, these houses could come down. Because that wind is something else. If you don't stop that wind, you're going to have, some serious debris happening.
Delightful.
So we are about to have like a Wicked Witch of the East situation where a house falls on us and just our shoes sticking out.
Well, at least I'm wearing clean stockings today.
You very well could. Yes, a house could literally fall on you. But yeah, other than that, you have a pretty uneventful little rest. You're able to rest up and keep going. Shaho, I'd say it's probably been about an hour since you cast the bark skin.
Right.
So it's no longer in effect. Was that once per short rest or once per long rest for that?
Let's see.
That's a good question. Do we stop for an hour or do we stop for 10 minutes while Zasa casts a spell?
Yeah, I think it's all up to you. You could stop for an hour, you are tied down for it, or you could only stop for the 10 minutes.
I think that's up to the party, but Marigold looks pretty battered, so...
I can't find the original text you gave me for the tattoo, so I don't know if it's short or long.
Let me check. I should be able to find it. You all discuss while I find that discussion here.
Do you want to take a break for some lunch or something? It is desperately hot.
Our mounts could probably use food and water and a rest.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm fine with that.
Short rest, everyone?
Yes.
Delightful. Wait, that was 13.
Okay, so it is once per long rest for that.
Yeah. Let me add that text.
Nice. Actually, I only needed the one, so did not need to double click. Okay. Marigold like sits in the corner with Mel and is patching himself up. Hitting the head with a rock. Not helping the headache.
All right. So after you're all patched up, Zasa, you were trying to find the correct way to go using the unseen cartographer, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what you see using the unseen cartographer is you get a map that does show the two ways. You see that one way has both ways converge back together again. They're kind of going around something. And then there is, on one side, there is a crevice that goes out to the open air again. You think that's probably where one of those other groups of bodies were. The other does not have any crevices like that. So it seems to be the safer path. It doesn't offer that open air wind tunnel effect that the other one did. And that would be the right-hand path is the safer one.
That seems like a good move. Also,
Wizard.
Wizard lizard. So, once, is there anything else anyone wants to do before they set out again?
I will go ahead and just adjust my quiver back to my back
Okay.
and pray that it stays put while I tie it down.
Wait, hold on, Shaho, hold on. Does Kai still have... Are you still using the scarf, Kai?
If we need to, I don't.
Okay, I will, Marigold actually take off the scarf that he's wearing, this blue one. I'm not going to take it off because I'm wearing a t-shirt under this and it looks janky. But Marigold will actually tie it around Shaho's arrows and then down to the quiver so they don't, like, go flying out if the wind catches them. So, kind of, like,
Okay.
makes a cap over the quiver.
All right.
Little bow on the back.
Many thanks.
Shaho,
Cool.
I was wondering if I could have your help. I think you might be best to help with this. I'm very concerned that Fancy might get spooked at some point and try to frill his neck and then go flying off into outer space. So I want to do something to tie down his neck, but not strangle him to death, and I don't know if I'm capable.
Sure,
Little
I'll
lizard.
help.
Shaho, please roll me an animal handling check.
Ooh.
So at first you step up to Fancy, and Caravan, as much as you think Fancy, you know, is still shy of you, a bit skittish, Fancy doesn't take very well to having somebody completely different from you step up either. It seems like, you know, maybe Fancy's just a little skittish. You know,
Fancy's
even
just
if,
a shy boy.
yeah, he's a shy boy. You know, Marigold was able to calm him down once, but he's a little skittish. Shaho,
I
roll,
don't think he likes me.
roll that again, Shaho.
He definitely does not like me.
Double sevens. So, Fancy backs up and bumps into the rock.
No.
You hear some more rumbling. You hear a rumble, rumble, rumble. And that house that was up above you starts to creak a little bit in the wind. You hear just like kind of like a and a couple like shingles fall down towards you. Everybody roll acrobatics or athletics for me. Or dex save, whatever you're all better at.
God damn it!
Zasa, you cannot roll this to save your life.
I just healed.
Okay, so Kai and Zasa, you get hit by a piece of this house. It's not big, it's nothing major, but you do get, you know, like a little cut on your cheek or, you know, a little bruise, and you each take 1 damage.
Shaho, do you feel any guilt at all that we fucked up and then our friends got hurt, but we're fine? I feel a little weird about it.
Things happen.
Can I-
How about you try and I'll help you and I'll maybe sleight of hand distract Fancy while you tie it down.
I
Okay,
could try
okay.
singing to him if you like, very, very quietly. Seems to like music.
He does seem to like that, but I also know we're trying to be quiet.
Midnight!
Oh no.
I don't do that. I don't do that. Oh my god, I don't do that.
So I can try to help you, but
Okay.
Caravan's gonna try to gently wrap a blanket around his frills and then tie the blanket down.
and I'll try to distract him to
Okay, so
keep him focused.
Caravan, roll a animal handling check with advantage.
Oh, bloody.
Okay? And with that 12 and with the sleight of hand, you are able to get that blanket around him. You're able to distract him enough that you're able to wrap it around, tie it, and his frills aren't going to now floof out and catch him in the wind.
Umbrella him off.
Yes, umbrella him
Picture him in
off
the wind, just flying. Screaming lizard.
All right, anything else you do before you head out again?
No.
All right. So you keep on with your journey, doing the same thing that you were doing before. Kai, can you roll me that strength check again?
Sure.
Or a save if you're trained in strength, whatever is better for you.
Am I? Let's see. I am not. Fun times. Okay.
Okay, so you're having a bit of trouble getting the piton into the rock. It's not really a problem. It does just take you a little bit longer. Roll that again for me one more time. Okay, so you're not able to get it in. Maybe the rock's gotten firmer, but whatever you were doing isn't working now. You can keep going without it, at least at this juncture, but you will all be rolling dexterity or athletics saves to see how you keep your footing.
I'll come up and I'll pour some water on the spot that Kai's trying to get it in to see if it'll soften it.
Okay. Kai, roll one more time.
Third time's a charm?
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Not bad. You get it in there. You don't think this one's going to be particularly sturdy. You're all going to have to be more careful. Just seems like this area is not taking as well to the plan that you were doing. But it's in there, and you are able to proceed.
Great.
All right. And then, so everybody, you don't need to roll for this, but just know that you are being pushed back by the wind at the moment. You are moving forward, and that sound is getting louder and louder. As you exit the fork that you had taken, you see in front of you that there is a crevice. It's deep. It doesn't seem to go out to the open air. You don't see really light coming from it. But the wind is getting incredibly strong. What do you do?
I mean,
Can we do a belly crawl?
You definitely can.
Like full lizard style. Caravan goes flat.
All right, so you all get as close to the ground as you possibly can. You're fighting against this wind. Roll those saves for me one more time. Dex, athletics, or acrobatics, whatever you are best at. Basically, you're trying to use your skills here. Zasa and Kai. Okay, so Kai, as you are getting close to this sound,
Hi, y'all.
you are to this deep crevice. The wind whips past you particularly strong, and it kind of yanks your hand away from Opal, and you feel that like you're almost losing your grip on her. You're able to maintain that hold, but as you do this, one of your gauntlets that is on flies off, like it slips out of your armor. and goes flying backwards. Zasa, as this is happening,
Oh no.
the gauntlet, it doesn't hit you, but it gets incredibly close to you. And the metal of the gauntlet catches on the cloth that you have in your ears, pulling one out.
Zasa.
And
shit.
then the full sound is upon you of what is happening. You still have one ear covered, but you are hearing the words in your head. Come to me, my child. Come to me. I would like you to roll a wisdom save for me.
Is Zasa at all concerned that she just got challenged to a duel?
She did get challenged to a duel.
I try to catch the gauntlet as it whips past since I'm probably in the back.
Yeah, I think with a 15 you're able to catch it. You've shown that you can catch things flying by your head pretty easily. So with that 15, yeah, you're able to catch the gauntlet. It doesn't disappear forever. But Zasa, you are being pulled forward. You're still on your mount, but you feel that bone deep want to move forward towards this crevice. Roll the save for me one more time. Okay. So Zasa is moving forward, everyone, towards this crevice. And given that it is 7 p.m., it is time for us to end for the day.
I forget this game is only 2 hours long, which is very weird compared to or is it 3?
Yep.
It's 2.
It's 2.
That's very short compared to my 4 and 5 hour streams. So I'm oh, we're about halfway. Oh, we're done.
Yep. So next week we'll pick up where we left off. Zasa, you're being pulled towards a strange crevice in the wall. Everybody, you can certainly stop her. But that'll have to wait until next week. So thank you all for joining us. Let me get us over to the no map screen while we bid everybody adieu. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time. Next week we'll figure out exactly what's in this crevice here. And I would like to say, if anybody's interested in winning a copy of the Player's Guide, just check out Roll the Roll tomorrow. We'll be doing that giveaway around noon Central. That's when the game starts, and then, the giveaway is sometime after that. For anybody else, plug your stuff, what you do. If you have any, anything you'd like to talk about. Whoever wants to go first.
I'm Candy. I'm the DM of the Dicey Amazons. We're going to try to stream tomorrow with everybody in a different place. So we'll see if that works out. But we're supposed to be going on at 11 Central at Dicey Amazons Twitch channel.
Very nice, very nice. Anybody else?
I'll go, I guess, unless Megan wants to go.
You go, I'll go next.
Okay. Hi, I'm Rune. I do the art thing. You can find me on Twitter as @RuneSale. I am here on the Onyx Path on Saturdays. I am on my own Twitch channel on Sundays. I am over on the Gold Heart Group's Descent into Avernus game on Mondays, and I'm back here again on Tuesday mornings, so I guess get used to my face. Yeah, I make art with Cubicle 7. I'm a contractor for them, and yeah, so here I am.
Very nice, very nice. All right, Megan.
I will be streaming next time you can see me prior to next week. I will be on Chromatic Chimera, which is my home channel, on Tuesday evening for our monthly game of Elsewhere, which is 5e, and then also Wednesday evening for my every other week game of Steamspell, which is also 5e. Also, this weekend is CouchCon. We're doing a con all weekend. It's really cool stuff. It's pretty much non-stop action. Non-stop. TTRPG action. They're even doing stuff right now. So yeah, if you have free time and want to pitch in and see some cool panels or games played, that's happening right now. Chromatic Chimera.
Neat. That sounds cool. I guess that's me.
Yep.
I'm Hiromi. I do genre fiction. I have a new book out this month. The March installment of the Trinity Anthology series, where we have 3 male writers, 3 female writers, and 3 non-binary writers. So there tends to be a lot of fun queer genre fiction in it. In this month's, I have a fun horror story in there. So that's
very cool.
if you like queer horror, I can help.
Alrighty, Shawnee, last but not least.
I'm Shawnee. I'm with Showcat Cosplay. For the last couple of months, I've been on kind of a break, not really posting a lot of content, but I am starting back up. So across all social media, if you want to check out some cool cosplay, hit me up.
Check her out. She's fantastic. Check out all these people. They're all fantastic. And thank you again so much for joining us. We will leave so who's ever on after us can do their thing. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next week, and stay safe, everyone.
Wash your damn hands.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Get them to the nails.
Bye.
Don't forget
Stay
the
away from
thumbs.
people.
Yes, stay away from all the people.
Stay home.
Wash your hands. Stay home. Fuck off.
Minimum of 6 feet if you're in contact.
Exactly. Man, we are all going to be so touch-starved by the end of this.
Oh, we are. All right, audio out now. Bye, everyone. All right, give that theme a minute, and then we are out for real. All right, good job, everyone. Yeah, like, that's not bad.